Alrighty, and here we are, ladies and gentlemen, into game number 1 between these two epic Polish players. In the bottom left, representing Team Liquid, it's Elazer.
And in the top right, the elder statesman of StarCraft 2, it's MaNa.
Yeah.
Poland versus Poland coming at you. Brother against brother. Countryman against countryman.
Then we'll move on to play someone from Poland.
Exactly. What a great country for StarCraft. Honestly, impressive. How's it going, Phoenix?
Yeah. Hi, Phoenix. I've been carrying the torch for Poland very hard. Because, so I remember getting mad at someone on Team Liquid. Well, not mad, but frustrated because of their blind ignorance. Someone on TL, because they're like, Sweden is better, or maybe it was Reddit. They're like, Sweden is better than Poland in StarCraft 2. I'm like, you are so wrong. It's not even funny.
Yeah, not even close. That's a ridiculous thing to say. Who is this person? We should shame them.
Phoenix has supported with 250
hey, Phoenix
gems.
gifting 250
what did I miss?
gems. Let's go. You missed Spirit 3-0ing Hearthstone in the first series. Second series getting started now. Phoenix, thanks for the support.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for that contribution of gems, Phoenix. That puts us halfway to our goal of increasing the prize pool for the 500 gem challenge mission. Yeah, good morning. Nothing better than some Saturday morning StarCraft.
Yeah, definitely. Good stuff. Great stuff. All right, MaNa's going to have his work cut out for him here. ZvP is a tough matchup for the Protoss these days. Everything is kind of a tough matchup for the Protoss these days, including PvP. And Elazer is right up there, too, with one of the greater Zerg players in the world. Let's see how he does. Scouting Thin Overlord. I believe he won Extractor Trick 15 Hatch. Got his natural blocked, unfortunately, so he had to take the third base first. But, Protoss are doing that a lot. Zerg are responding properly. And he should get another hatchery at his natural base here in about a couple of minutes. Not a problem.
Yeah, I am quite excited to see how MaNa does today against Elazer, because I think out of, we've seen Hearthstone, we've seen MaNa and Elazer. I think MaNa out of those three is probably the one that's practicing the most, because I did creep out his profile, and he's top 5 on the EU ladder, playing regularly, lots of green wins under that, and so MaNa is still grinding hard, which is very impressive for someone with his tenure.
Absolutely. I mean, we talk about him like he's 75 years old, but he is not. He's actually, what did we say he was, 31?
31, yeah.
We looked it up, 31.
MaNa testing Elazer with that Adept, shading it on in. It gets a single link, putting in the work, making Elazer sweat, and have to respond to that. Really shows that he's on point here, though, just with little movements like that with the Adept, knowing exactly how much you can commit to get even a tiny morsel of damage. And then just shades on out with that Adept, knowing the timings, knowing that Ling's speed is done, that he needs to get home with that. We do have Elazer committing to quite a few Lings already, as he throws up double Spore Crawlers. So Elazer probably going to be looking for some sort of counter damage, I imagine. And maybe eyeing up that third base of the Protoss, we shall see. In goes the Oracle. Lings for Elazer are queuing up for that counterattack.
Getting on top of the Adept. Nobody to help you. No Oracle to help you. That Adept possibly canceled third here, too. Link trying to get in the front door. No, that Stalker can't hold forever on the other side either. Oh, does get a Pylon down to block it off there. Pylon sniped there. Adept, getting back into her corner. Oracle shows up, takes out a few of those Lings. Lings jump back on in here again. This Ling aggression here from Elazer is getting cleaned up. Another Adept goes down. Oracle going to shove that away. They're really good at burning through the little fragile bodies of those Zerglings. They're not going to take down this pylon. Only one Ling at a time can attack it anyway. Great positioning there by MaNa. And so far, annoying, but I think MaNa is okay. Kept the third base. Nobody got into the natural, and it's a little bit frustrating, but so far, not knocked off his game at this point.
Yeah, a solid response by MaNa. That's one of the situations that can go very poorly very quickly if you're not quick to react. MaNa, though, he recalled his Oracle, threw up the pylon to prevent the Lings getting in his natural. And so, yeah, a very solid defense. He lost a Stalker and then 2 Adepts for 18 Lings. That's not bad at all. Now, Elazer being true to his word before the series, he said, I'm going to make some Hydras, and here he goes, making Hydras. As he is quite notorious when it comes to ZvP for being having certain thoughts about the matchup, and that's why he does tend to like to play highly aggressive with Hydras, as they do have that potential to end the game rather early. Now he does have to deal with this harassment before he can possibly go for a move out, though. Does shoo the Archons of MaNa away. When was the last time you saw an Archon drop by Protoss?
I mean, I saw one about a month ago, and I was shocked then, because I was like, what is this? Ooh, getting canceled on that 4th. Nicely done, Archons. It was, like, all the rage back in, like 2018, 2019. It was every single PvZ was dropping Archons on the edge of the creep and trying to deny creep tumors and harass and stuff, but really fell out of favor. But MaNa is bringing it back, man. Got a cancel on a 4th base. Looking fantastic. Stasis catching these criminals as they try to run in. Their buddies are still alive. Hydra's pushing. Hydra pushes always remind me of that one time little tiny blip in StarCraft 2 history where the range upgrade and the speed upgrade for Hydra was the same upgrade, and Protoss could not stop Hydra Bust. It was impossible. So Elazer is trying to harken back to those times and give MaNa some PTSD.
Well, it wasn't even the range thing. They just literally had one more range than they did. From what
and they combined the 2 upgrades too. Yeah, it was a combination. But
wild Hydra times. Every game was Hydra all-ins. Now, MaNa is under pressure right now, though, as he does face the mass Hydras of Elazer. He does have Psystorm done, however, Elazer is splitting his Hydras pretty effectively, and there's only maybe 1-2 more Psystorms, and MaNa's just going to tap out as Elazer is able to pull a quick and dirty Hydra win.
Yeah, good grief. Elazer has been working on these timings, folks. He was not lying when he said he was going to make Hydras in this matchup. And by golly, he did. Got a 7-minute and 30-second win, just getting up to double the army supply with Hydralisks. And MaNa maybe probing a little bit too much, expanding a little bit too much. They're not quite ready to deal with the Hydras when they arrived. And boof, our Zerg player takes game 1 there, looking pretty fantastic in the process. Wow.
Yeah. Fairly straightforward build. Oh, I definitely loaded into the wrong map there.
Ooh.
There's the right map. Yeah, that was quite straightforward by Elazer. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to go for something similar, but MaNa may be more aware in the next match. And he seemed to be somewhat ready to defend that, but it's just still very, very tight to defend. Even if you know it's coming as Protoss.
Yeah, I mean, he did scout it. He saw the Hydras out there on the map very early when the Archons showed up, so he wasn't caught by surprise that Hydras existed at all. Just wasn't quite ready for it. The Ling pressure maybe slowed things down just a little bit, and, I mean, overall, great, great, great build. Something, you know, Zerg players might want to look at. If you're struggling with Protoss in your ladder games, because Protoss is better the lower on the ladder you get, I think, then maybe look at this Hydra timing.
Yeah.
I wonder if they've got it over at lotb.spottingtool.com.
I don't know. Possibly. Anyway, here we are into game number 2 between these two Liquid boys. In the bottom left, it is MaNa.
And in the top right, Elazer. There's that extractor trick to 15 hatch again. Seeing this against Terrans and against Protoss. And I don't know. I mean, is it good enough I should be doing this in all of my games? Because I'm not. I'm still sticking on the 16 hatch, but it is a faster hatch, which is cool. Look at him, just immediately recognizing he's going to get blocked.
Like, yeah, okay. MaNa does like that very early probe move out. Okay, and here we are. Probe being a nuisance, trying to mess with the mining of Elazer. MaNa trying to time it out so he'll send some of those drones packing. And it's a game of furiously clicking for both the players, because if you don't adjust those drones, your worker will be the one that ends up walking away.
It is a game as old as StarCraft itself. That's not true. This didn't really start happening until years after StarCraft 2 was released, but it's something to do with your APM if you're a Protoss player in the first couple minutes of the game. It forces the Zerg player to focus on something other than making drones.
Is this the thing that's done in Brood War 2 or no?
No, not at all. I mean, I think the same principles apply. I don't know why it's not really attempted, but... Good question. Maybe we'll try to introduce it out there. Hey, check this fun thing out, Protoss players.
Okay. So, Elazer has that forward hatchery producing his queens, and then his Ling speed on the way. MaNa's scouting probe does get gobbled up, and it may actually die. It will die, so that's a nice catch for the Zerg. MaNa goes into a Stargate once more.
Yeah, against Hydra timing, Stargate not particularly useful, it turns out.
No, I mean, maybe MaNa did need to throw down more stasis wards or something. And that could have helped him out. I'm not sure if he just didn't have the energy or whether he lost his Oracle. I should have paid closer attention to that. Adept shades on in, trying to grab a drone, and does successfully. MaNa's unit control is still very, very on point.
Yeah, old man or not, looking good.
Overlord for Elazer confirms he's up against a Stargate. He has those Spore Crawlers building.
Once again, a little bit of Ling pressure. Got the Oracle back home. Shouldn't lose an Adept this time around. Once again, Stalker getting busted. Oracle providing double duty, protecting the front door of the natural and the third base. Nicely done.
Elazer fires up a big round of drones as he has the lair on the way. The lair, of course, being a requirement to make Hydras. Getting his bases nice and saturated.
Yeah, just drone. War Prism getting fired up here from MaNa. Baneling Nest on the way from Elazer. Ling's trying to hack away on this third Nexus a little bit, taking a tiny bit of shields off.
Yeah, the Baneling Nest definitely is an interesting choice. I'm not sure if he had one last game and just didn't use it, or if he didn't make one.
No, I don't think he did.
We do have a Templar Archives going up for MaNa. He's got a Robo done. Prism is done, so he's gonna go for that Archon drop once again. MaNa is doing exactly what he did in the previous game. Maybe just gonna try and do it a little bit better. I think he also may have just killed one of his own probes or something. Or was that a cleaning bot or something?
Might have been. Hey, kid. Hydroden finishing up. Let's go. Let's
There
see
it
how we
is.
deal with this.
Muscular augments on the way. Give those Hydras more movement speed. Meanwhile, Archons do go into the main base. They almost grab an Overlord, but MaNa has to turn around for a second in order to actually get that. And looks like they may be able to grab a second Overlord, which is nice. Although Elazer does have quite a buffer, so he's not going to get supply blocked. MaNa wants to grab yet another one. He does, so 3 Overlords.
Yep, no supply block. Overlords are being made 5 at a time at this point. Going to be hard to supply block them, but slows down the production of Hydras if you're making Overlords.
It's
So
true.
Hydrolings here. Speed for the Hydras is about 50% complete. Infestation Pit getting fired up here too.
MaNa gets what he can with that Prism. Every Ling that he kills is something that will be removed from any potential push by Elazer. The Zerg does go into an Infestation Pit though, which could potentially mean Lurkers down the line, so maybe Elazer isn't planning on getting aggressive here. Oracle flying around reveals that Hydra army. Elazer is moving out and will almost get the Oracle. Not quite though. And the Zerg is looking to push on in. MaNa has more Archons this time to defend. He's got charge done. So electing to go for a charge and more Archons instead of Psystorm.
Black holes all over this map are so pretty.
They definitely
So distracting. Okay, so Elazer says, nah, no Hydra timing this game. Let's maybe get some Infestors out. What are we doing with this hive is my question.
Yeah, getting out a Lurker Den. And oh, look at this. The Archon drop supported by a Zealot Warpin. That's the power of the Warp Prism. Now going into the main base of Elazer. MaNa is going for a 1-2 punch as he crashes into the third. At the same time, the Zealots are all going to be gobbled up by the Hydras. However, the third is completely abandoned by the Zerg as MaNa comes on in. It looks like Elazer is going for a bit of a counterattack. However, batteries, cannons, and a Zealot Warpin do help him defend that. And MaNa may actually be able to grab the third base. And then he's just going to have to run out of there off of creep, potentially recall, or just hoof it home. Meanwhile, the Archons are back inside the main base. The Prism is still alive, getting damage done. Well done by MaNa. Able to get a solid blow done to Elazer, who's now a Zerg on 3 bases, heavily disrupted mining, and he was able to defend the counterattack himself. We have got, that is 8 High Templar for MaNa, all building up energy, and Psystorm research just complete, so that is going to be a lot of AoE at the disposal of the Protoss player. Overlord gets lucky and stays alive. Not for long, though. Big Warpin as MaNa is now coming in for another attack onto his opponent. He does have Psystorm. Is he just going to storm those Lurkers?
He sure does. Storms the Lurkers, storms the Hydra, storms the Lings, storm all of the things. Every Hydra gets sniped. Just kidding. Hydras are here. Lurkers get taken down. Warping in additional Zealots here. Taking on that Warp Prism would be really nice, but it manages to finish the Warp. Getting surrounded by Lings all up in this mess, so the Psystorms continue to blanket these Hydralisks. Army value 48 to 35 in favor of Elazer, though. You should be okay with a little bit of Hydra Micro here and Stutter Step, and yeah, looks like he's going to hold it. Some fancy Archon Warp Prism Micro can only take you so far.
Yeah, MaNa definitely got some damage done there. You are right in that he is down in army supply, so that may open him up to a bit of a counterattack. Elazer does just rebuild that hatchery once more, though. And yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to commit to counterattack, which is probably a wise decision. That energy recharge ability that Protoss has really allows Protoss to be extra defensive with those High Templar, because they can have a High Templar that has Storm immediately, which is very powerful. So Elazer makes a mature decision just to build more Lurkers, to hunker down, and it's not going to be easy, but seems to be his best path forward.
Yeah, so far so good. Seismic Spines is done. Adaptive Talons finishing in. Getting a lot of value with these Zealots, man. Couple drones getting sniped out. Lurkers trying to spread against the obvious storm that is happening all over the place here. 9 drones go down. 10 drones go down. 1 Lurker forces everybody to flee from that position. Hold position.
Oh my gosh.
Zealots in the mineral line. He didn't even finish him off.
No, that's because he's busy trying to clean up the main base. Elazer has taken a battering in this match as MaNa is all over him. The Protoss finds that the 4th base is the weak location, drops Psystorm on that ramp. Elazer is going to tap out. MaNa ties it up.
All right, that's what we're here for. Seeing the old man MaNa deal with those Lurkers, deal with the Hydra. Psystorm. I don't know why more Protoss players don't use Psystorm in their matchups against Zerg. It's good, especially if you have these squishy Hydras and Lings everywhere, as Elazer did.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Lurkers are kind of tanky. You can't, it's a couple storms to take one of those suckers down. But at the very least, a lot of that army is squishy stuff that will get significantly injured by the storm or killed outright. So, more storm, I say. Well done.
More storm is always good. That was really well done by MaNa. Playing quite a PvZ. We are just loading into our next match. It's going to be on El Dorado.
El Dorado. Land of the gold. Land of the eternal riches.
Okay, everyone is in the lobby. MaNa says ready, Elazer says ready, so off we go into game number 3. Keeping in mind, Spirit is waiting in the finals, so that will determine whether we have a TVP or a TVZ. Personally, I'd be happy to see either of them.
Yeah, and El Dorado, another one of those maps where we spawn on the same side of the map. Bottom left versus bottom right, just like my favorite map, Golden Wall, which is gone but not forgotten. The spiritual successor is El Dorado.
All right, here we are in the bottom left. It is Liquid MaNa.
And in the bottom right, Team Liquid's Elazer. Bam. Again, going for the 15 Hatcheroonie. I mean, if it's good enough for Elazer, it's good enough for me, right?
Yeah. It
Might as
still
well go
doesn't
15
stop
hatch.
him getting his hatchery blocked, though. MaNa confirms the hatchery. Gateway on the way up through the wall off at the natural for the Protoss. High ground means it's rather defensible. Till you gotta branch out and make a decision which third base you're gonna take. We can have the weird golds being taken on either side. Or you can just expand to the north.
This probe. Zappity zap zap zap. He wants a drone kill so bad. One more. Come on. Get him. Get him. Get him. Go back in. Your shields are regening. Come on.
Probe is never done.
No. Probe is always working. Unless it dies.
This is a phenomenon I've noticed with casting some 2v2 lately. It's that the Protoss on the team is always the one to scout.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I mean, Zerg basically says, sacrificing a drone to scout hurts my economy too much. I will lose if I use one drone to scout. So, for some reason, Protoss does not feel that way.
Elazer knows there's a probe about, and he does check his natural to find that guy hanging out there. Let's see if this one can get away or not. Probably
No, not looking good. Not looking
Wait,
good.
Elazer gives up the
Oh,
pursuit.
spared him.
I think he could have had that.
He sent it back home as a message. That if you come to this side of the map, look what's going to happen to you.
Yeah, that definitely could have been a probe kill. But Elazer fearing the Adept move out, I suppose. Stargate opening from MaNa once more.
Adept says, cool. No Larry yet. Excellent. Got the information that I wanted. Let's head back home and wait for some friends.
Yeah. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning in to the SOOP StarCraft Global. This is one of the rarer EU events that we do. If you're just watching and lurking, go ahead and make a SOOP account, though, as we do these events every 2 weeks, sometimes at a different time. Yeah, we see Lings for Elazer being pushed off the third base of MaNa. Just a light poke. I mean, the guy only has 4 Zerglings out. Elazer's been very focused on macro. Oracle flies on in, gets a single drone. Spore Crawler and Queen push it away. Fourth base goes up for Elazer.
All right, kids. Let's see more Psystorm here from Elazer. Did seem to be the key to game number 1. And the old Hydra Den getting started up. Elazer was not lying. He said he was going to make Hydras. He's made Hydras in the first 3 games so far. Man has a plan. He's sticking to it.
Yeah, apparently so does MaNa, though, as he goes for yet another Archon drop. We'll see if he changes up or goes for the same follow-up as the previous match, where he went heavier into the Archons, into charge lots. And that seems to be the case, as he doesn't go for that quick Psystorm once more, knowing that he just needs muscle out to defend against the potential attack. We do have a nice Ling attack by Elazer, striking just before that battery finished up. MaNa comes on in with the Archon, does actually warp in some Zealots to support this, so he's going to turn the heat up on his opponent rather quickly. These aren't even charge lots, but MaNa may have found a nice little timing as he is really catching the Zerg off guard, getting some nice pickoffs. He's microing back those Archons. The Zealots will probably be abandoned, but MaNa is even chasing down the few Hydras that are out with this Prism, then shuffles to the natural base, warps in some more Zealots. MaNa is changing the pace of this game by going super aggressive early on. He's got to be so careful as those Archons are getting rather low, but just even getting off 1 or 2 shots from them is big. As that Prism shuffles those Archons around, he's going to get a Hydra, which was sent to destroy the Prism. Look at this micro from MaNa. Oh, as I say, I totally jinxed it.
You sure did. That was good, though. 6 drones down. Good harassment. He's using Charge Loss, Archons, and Psystorm to good effect here, as he did in game number 2. Slowing Elazer down. Elazer's got a 4th base rocking because it's 61 workers. Once again, that Baneling nest getting started up here.
A Ling run by does get spotted by MaNa, or he should have seen that, but
I don't think he saw it. Yeah, he missed that. Didn't quite have the vision on it. He's counterattacking up towards the 4th base. Ling's up at the top left on MaNa's side, jumping into the 3rd here. He's got a couple Zealots in a shield battery. Dragging them away from the shield battery.
Done.
Nice. Very nice. On the other side of it, though, just right-clicking on that hatchery. And an Oracle getting 4 drones. The hatch is going to fall. Probes. There you go. Finally starting to fall here. Shield battery runs out of energy. So we're trading a few probes for an entire hatchery.
Yeah, MaNa could have used energy overcharge on that battery. That definitely would have saved some more of his probes. Getting the 4th base was some good damage done to his opponent, and it was quite a nice play by MaNa. He did send in that Oracle, which distracted Elazer, which freed up the 4th base. But at the end of the day, army supply is looking fairly even. However, the Hydras are rather efficient, so Elazer is moving out on the map. Those Hydras are moving speedily as they have muscular augments. They do have group spines as well. 13 Banelings are morphing for the Zerg.
Yeah, not going to do well against the Archons. Do great against the Zealots, though. This is the plan. Banelings for the Zealots, Hydras for the Archons. It is a game of counter play here. Oh, great stasis.
That Oracle having the last laugh as it may be gone, but the stasis remained. And that is very good for the Protoss. Elazer tries to get some Banelings on the left. However, MaNa reacts to that rather well. Only 1 connects, which is 1 fewer than you need in order to get damage done with Banelings onto workers. Psystorm catches some of those Hydras. However, Elazer doesn't take too much damage from it. He's morphing more Banelings. We do have High Templar in that Prism, though, ready to be dropped and then drop Storms.
Yeah, that's a big play. It's high APM, but it's good. Storming those Banelings is nice. Banelings trying to get some connections on. They do get some Zealot hits. Archons also willing to attack those Banelings themselves. It takes like 18 Banelings to kill a single Archon, so that is a horrible trade for Zerg no matter what's going on. Oh, Hydras get the Warp Prism, and the 1 Storm gets off, but a High Templar gets sniped out on the unload as well. Archon does get backed into a corner and executed. 70 to 44 army supply in favor of Elazer here. He's not done yet.
No, Elazer is not done as he fires up more Hydras. Notably, there's no upgrades for the Zerg. Elazer has just been doing this off the back of unupgraded Hydras. MaNa is trying to squeeze out a 4th base. Elazer has his own 4th base, but he's barely been mining from it, as he has just been focused on that aggression. The Zerg, though, may be forced to macro up, but Elazer is refusing. As he says, I have 71 drones, that is more than enough to produce enough stuff to kill MaNa, and he may be right, as the 4th base of MaNa is rather vulnerable. The toss may just have to cancel that.
Yeah, this Hydroling Bane shenaniganry is good these days. Baneling on a probe, unnecessary. That's a canceled Nexus. Oh, killed Nexus.
Beautiful Storm, though, by MaNa, getting some value to counteract that damage. Elazer still maintains a big supply lead and still maintains his killer intent, though. No upgrade started, no further tech from the Zerg. Elazer is making Hydras and Bane to support it. And we'll see if that's going to work out for him. I mean, as these armies scale, it's generally better for the Protoss because the bigger the armies, the more damage the Storm can get. At the same time, Elazer is adding on a ridiculous amount of Banelings. 36 Banelings in total being added on. MaNa fires up 2 more Archons to help out with that. He's got 6 High Templar. Psystorm's getting dropped by the Protoss player. However, in go Banelings, and there's many more to follow this up. MaNa dropping some Force Fields. That Sentry does have more energy, as Psystorm Force Field is a nasty combo. We do have, I think that was some Banelings to the natural. Hydra's canceling the 4th base once again. MaNa is going for counter damage with the Prism, but doesn't find anything. And so far, Elazer has just been really containing the Protoss. High Templar on the high ground, able to get some Psystorms on the flanking Zerg army. More Storms being dropped as Banelings threaten the High Templar's life, and the last of them do go down. That leaves MaNa really with just some Archons retreating. He does have more Archons back at home. He needs to get those survivors to the battery, though. Still, though, things are not getting any better for the Protoss. MaNa is just on Archons and High Templar, although most of the High Templar have gone down. He's got literally just 1 right now. Energy recharge is on cooldown, so he can't even get that up to full energy.
Yeah, not looking good at all. Trying to get that 4th base up, but Elazer just keeps pouncing on it over and over and over again. That's another cancel or kill on that 4th Nexus. That one finally gets canceled, but MaNa can't keep doing this. He needs a 4th base now. We can't keep building it and canceling it over and over and over again. Elazer's got a 5th base rocking. It's 110-86 army supply. The Archon count is high, but that just means that the Hydras have a better time of things. Zealots on the counterattack, perhaps. We might need them back home.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, MaNa has been building up this ridiculously high Archon count, 9 Archons in total, and they have been absorbing Elazer's Banelings. The Zerg has lost 79 Banelings throughout this game. However, more do attempt to kill some probes. That's knocking MaNa down to 49 workers. The Zerg does have more bases than his opponent as well, being on 5 bases. Still no upgrades for Elazer, although he does finally throw up a Lurker Den and a Hive. MaNa's army has continued to grow in strength as the Archon numbers have increased. He's also got an Immortal added to the mix as well, so that army just becomes better and better as time goes on. Elazer has to fire up more Banelings just to potentially push this army back, as MaNa is feeling quite comfortable moving out on the map, although there's no Prism to support this, so no Warpins. The Protoss doesn't have that good of an economy yet. He's spent money on 2-2 upgrades, and look at this. Elazer's moving in towards the 4th base once again. Can MaNa save it this time? He doesn't have any High Templar. He's warping in Zealots to try and save this. Archons get on top of the Hydras, but without High Templar to support, Hydras can trade out decently. Elazer's coming from the high ground, however, Psystorm is present, and it's getting some pretty solid connections, keeping those Banelings back. Elazer is being patient, but there always seems to be another storm. Most of those Banelings get nothing done. MaNa is taking a big trade right now. Can he save that Nexus? It looks like the answer is yes, as the Protoss takes a good fight thanks to just copious amounts of Psystorm.
Yeah, Psystorm, Banelings connecting on Archons a little bit too often there for Elazer, kind of a waste of those guys, and then the Psystorms dealing with the Hydras as they need to do. So, fantastic stuff here out of MaNa, and got the 4th base, but for how much longer is the question?
Yeah, I mean, he held on to it once, but the next challenge is going to be defeating those Lurkers. He lost the single Immortal that he has. Still, though, Psystorm and Archons and Zealots, if they get a good engagement against the Lurkers, can get the job done. MaNa notably does have 2-2 upgrades done as well, which is going to help him out tremendously, as Elazer has no upgrades to speak of.
Yeah, dealing with that's going to be a big deal. The Lurkers are going to show up, and we talked about that earlier, but Lurkers are a little bit tankier against the Storm. So let's see. Elazer might wait to get maxed out here. He's making a move again, scouting out early to see what's up this way. One Zealot is the advance warning that somebody's heading towards that top left.
Yeah, that is so important for MaNa to know that that's coming his way. We do have Elazer trying to throw up another hatchery at the 12 o'clock position. MaNa is very close to it.
Yeah, he could probably kill that with the basic attack of High Templar at this point, but he's going to bring in some Zealots and Archons anyway, forcing a cancel on that hatch.
Yeah, Elazer does have 5 bases still, which is a good economy, but look at this. MaNa's transitioning, getting up a Fleet Beacon, getting up Blink, and a 5th Nexus. The Zerg is looking for a bit of a surround, but he's unable to find a good engagement. Like, the Psystorm is just such a big threat to Elazer. If he steps forward, MaNa will just retreat and drop Psystorm. That's why MaNa is positioning out on the map, so he'll prevent Elazer getting on any of his bases. Like, the Protoss is moving forward, realizing that Elazer doesn't have his whole army here, and he's able to grab 2 of the Lurkers. There's the rest of them, though, parked at the back.
Yeah, that Lurker escaping with like 1 hit point. Small Ling Hydra group trying to poke at that top left base again. Changeling inside the main base, good scouting purposes. The Zealot keeps advance notice of what's happening in that top left. The Zealot's on the top right.
Yeah.
They're going to get the... They get the hatch. Just right-clicking on that thing. Woo, excellent job there. Yeah, killing hatcheries, slowing down a Zerg player. That's their production, and that's their money. It's a double whammy for the Zerg.
Elazer does lose that hatchery, and now he's eating Psystorm on his drones at the 4th base. And that is a big chunk of the economy for the Zerg gone. Elazer's got a decent bank to his name, lots of minerals in the bank so he can spam lings, but what are links against Archons and High Templar?
Not much.
The Lurkers burrow. It looks like Elazer is just going to elect to go for a counterattack. I think he may have set himself up for a sandwich, though, as the Zerg is on the retreat. Going to lose more Lurkers. Burrow's on the high ground, and Zealots are just moving forward. They are getting destroyed by the Lurkers. However, there's Psystorm. There's so many Archons in the back. Elazer is in trouble as he loses the bulk of his Lurker force. The Zerg, though, still maintains a healthy supply lead, 170 to 140, but Elazer's going to type out. He knows he can't take on that army.
Yeah, he had like a 90 supply army there, but it just wasn't the right stuff, did he, with Archon, Zealot, High Templar. The Lurkers, honestly, not my favorite unit in this matchup. I think there are a lot of answers that Protoss have for them. They are crazy annoying to deal with for sure. But yeah, I mean, basically, Immortals are really good. We haven't even seen Immortals these days against the Lurkers in this particular matchup. But the Psystorm, the Lurkers, everything is looking good. So yeah, Lurkers, maybe we move away from those. I think the Hydras are great. I'd like to see some Viper play. A little bit of Abduct on some of these Archons, getting them out of the group. Abduct on the High Templar can be pretty good too. Because it is, effectively, we're seeing spellcasting versus no spellcasting at this point.
Yeah, it's true, but at the same time, High Templar are a nice counter to that, to those spellcasters. I mean, feedback one click, shift click F, and you will kill. Well, you nullify those spellcasters. Like,
that's a good point.
Zerg can win with Lurkers and Hydras and Banelings, but it all comes down to the positioning. Like, MaNa was so close to dying that entire game. Like, Elazer was real close to overwhelming him, but the Protoss played incredibly patiently. A lot of Protoss would say, well, I can't get a fourth base. I got all in. MaNa, no, he just kept a cool head and said, yeah, my economy is weak, but if I can just keep defending, I'll be able to win the game. And so that was rather well done.
Yeah, definitely got that fourth base up. I don't think we switched the scene.
I did not. My mistake there.
It's all good. How's it going, John Solo?
John Solo says,
I heard John Solo
tired.
this morning. Yeah.
You and me both, man.
Yeah. Early morning. Let's rock.
Yeah.
So, Whispers of Gold here for game number 4. As Elazer started out hot, got that nice little timing attack with the Hydras, but MaNa gets the next 2 games, and we are moving in to Elazer's on the back foot here. If he loses this game, he's toast.
Yeah. In the bottom right, playing well, it's MaNa.
And in the top left, maybe he goes back to that Hydra timing. It's Elazer.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of been trying to do the same thing, just MaNa's been more aware of it, keeping pressure on the Zerg to prevent that kind of move out. Like, buying time. That's why those sort of Hydra plays fall off so much in the best of 5. It's because it's like, you've seen it once, you're very aware of it as the Protoss. Anyway. Welcome to the stream, John.
Yeah, I love this. Elazer's just like, all right, so we're going to go Extractor Trick, 15 Hatch at my 3rd. I'm just going to do it every time straight up because I'm going to get blocked there, and then I'll take my natural, and then we'll play from there.
Yep, MaNa has fallen into a bit of a routine in this best of 5. Probe Scout, into Oracle, into High Templar. He seems to be the Protoss that I've seen the most, making use of that energy recharge ability. Building his sort of Archon High Templar playstyle off the back of it. Because for the longest time in ZvP, Zerg would be like, okay, I can just kill the battery with Banelings. Like when there was battery overcharge, that kind of thing. And as long as they cleaned out the High Templar, they'd kill the Protoss in the next attack. But now Protoss has energy recharge, so they can generally have one High Templar with another Storm or 2 ready. And that makes it a little bit more complicated for the Zerg.
100%. trying to make it harder on the Zerg in this matchup. I'm not sure there's ever been a time where Zerg has just been utterly, completely overpowered in this matchup at every level, but...
At every level, no. It's
no.
At pro levels, arguably...
Just that one time.
Just that one time. Just that one time with the dropper lords and the speedlings and then the... I don't know. I think it mainly comes down to Protoss having less opportunity for builds, because it's like you open Oracle and then go into High Templar, or what else? I don't know. Blink charged a lot of aggression, but that's fallen off, so...
Yeah, it has. I mean, one of my favorite things about PvZ is that for the very longest time, every unit's been viable in this matchup. There's nothing you can point at and say, this does not work in PvZ, from either perspective. And there's definitely stuff that doesn't get built as much, like you're saying. Certain things will fall off in popularity. But everything, you know, we see Tempest carriers, we see Void Rays. I mean, everything makes sense in this matchup, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it definitely does, and it partly comes down to like playing the player versus playing the matchup. Like MaNa likes MaNa's been liking High Templar and charge lots because he knows the laser is going to go for Hydras most likely.
Right. Although I'm trying to figure out what is good against Storm from a Zerg perspective. Like, what are we building that Storm's not going to hurt?
Well, I think probably just trying to out macro against it. Like, Elazer, like, he didn't get upgrades in that game until like the 15-minute mark or something.
Right,
ridiculous
that's fair.
Like that. Whereas if it was like Serral, he'd be trying to get up like 80, 90 drones, probably getting out quicker lurkers, something like that, maybe a Nidus, I don't know.
Yeah, upgrades definitely matter a lot here. I mean, not so much the armor upgrades, just because Storm ignores the armor, but...
Attack, definitely.
The attack, definitely, 100%. Yeah, and there's that Templar Archives coming in again here from MaNa. Stasis catching...
Nothing.
Nothing? What did it trigger on?
I think a drone that then went into the extractor.
There's a little gap there? That's amazing.
There is a slight second delay on those stasis activating.
So it activates and then stasises, and in between activating and stasising, you can hide a drone and an extractor. That's very cool.
Yeah, that's why I think like it's technically possible to maybe blink out of them. I'm not sure.
Ooh, same thing. Yeah, activate, blink out.
It might also come down to like whether the stasis is being actively placed on a unit. I'm not sure. Anyway, we do have a Elazer going for a very, very cute Ling drop. I love the change up from the Zerg. This is the stage of the game which MaNa's been the aggressive one, but now all of a sudden he's going to be on the defensive, losing quite a few probes, it would seem. All the ones mining gas are abandoned, so that is 6 dead. Lings are also poking at the front. MaNa is going in with these Archons. Over 5 Queens are present to respond. If a Elazer can get damage done on the Prism, that would be huge. But look at this. He's going to unpower those gateways. The Oracle had to recall or just come home in order to force
Lings
those
in the
away.
natural base, too.
Yeah.
And there are Lings picking up probes in the natural base. 12, 13. Get in the 14. Got the 14. Dude, 63 to 42 workers. The Lazer's way up. He rebuffs the Archon harassment on the other side pretty effectively. Got his Hydras out. MaNa's economy has just been crushed, and he's got all of his gateways depowered there. Not that they're done, to be fair. There we go. So now Ling's back into the base, sniping out another probe for 15 total. Charge lots are going to trade pretty well here. Transfusing a Hydralisk to keep it alive.
I love it.
Very funny.
Hydras ain't that cheap, so... But yeah, this is a beautiful decision by a Elazer to go for this move. Like, MaNa is so far behind right now. Like, he's down to 44 workers on 3 bases. His counter-aggression that he wanted to go for, well, really the initial aggression with the Archons was cut short because MaNa was focused defending. He couldn't use his Warpins aggressively. And the Protoss is just in so much trouble. All the Elazer needs to do is defend here. but he may actually be looking for a little bit of a Ling counterattack, and he's going to find it. There is the Oracle, a High Templar, and a battery present. Can a Elazer get anything? No, but he's pulling MaNa's focus, and the toss is really committed to this counterattack, but there's so many Hydras.
Yeah, there are. You got to watch out for that War Prism, too. Don't want it at the front. Going to pick up, drop a couple Archons here inside the main base. Charizard attacking into the third base as well. Ling's at the front door of MaNa at the same time. We are everywhere on the map right now. Lings get into the main base. No shield. Oh, there is one shield battery here, but not a position to cover everybody. Drones getting sniped out. Probes getting picked off here. 48 to 59 workers here. Elazer has a lead, not as big as it was previously. Archons getting chased away by Hydras here at the fourth base. And MaNa still with the Zealots, but the Archons are done for now.
Yeah, the positional play has been ridiculous by MaNa, just trying to find any damage done. Attacking the main, the fourth, the third, trying to find some damage to bring himself back into the game. And he did really pin Elazer down for a minute. That's allowed him to catch up in the worker count. Psystorm is only 40 seconds away for the Protoss, and that is what will allow MaNa to play this game out. If he'd simply let Elazer be, he'd have been facing a huge amount of Zerg in the next minute or two, but now it might be at a manageable level. It's still going to be an uphill battle for MaNa to defend, though, because Elazer does have 20 Hydras out. He's making 15 Banelings speed, Groove Spine's on the way, and the Zerg is on those 4 bases. Now's the moment, whether we get to see if Elazer is just going to truly Ling Bane it and refuse to build any drones, which he is refusing so far as the worker count evens up. But oh, look at that. Pardon my observing, but 7 probes just died to that Baneling drop inside the main base. Another Overlord gonna die. Yet another one. MaNa has killed 11 Overlords in this game. His Archons have been getting plenty of those. We do see Hydras and Lings shut down the 4th base attempt. Banelings do not yet have speed, so they're just going to waddle forward. There's a Stasis Horde on the right, High Templar on the left. Elazer has to split against those. He does run into the Stasis.
Yeah, another Storm catching those Hydras again. Banelings trying to get the High Templar. Nice pickup and save. Banelings trying to go after probes. Maybe getting no, they do not get a sentry there, but the pylon gets sniped. Nice force field. Hydras eating storms, trying to snipe off Archons. 1, 2, and 3rd Archon does not get target fire. The Zealots on the backside. The Storm on the Hydras.
GG.
Wow.
Elazer just taps out.